everybody, Mariah here. We made it to day 5. Congratulations. I'm happy that you arrived on your mat again today, and I'm looking forward to our 20-minute practice today. So let's get right to it. Coming into that simple seated pose that you have come to know over the last few days. Dropping the shoulders down the back, closing the eyes. And in this moment, first, before we begin our mindful meditation, take the palms of the hands together and rub them together quickly. Speeding up as you're ready. Warming up the palms of the hands. Feeling the friction in the palms of the hands. And now place the palms of the hands in front of your heart. Pressing into your heart, into your chest. Shoulders continue to move down the back. Feeling the warmth of the palms of your hands. And just settling in with this warmth. For a moment, practicing some gratitude. Some inward gratitude. You have arrived on your mat. You've committed to this practice in the way that works for you. You're here, present. And now take the palms down to cup the knees. Soften the elbows, the shoulders down the back. And take in that deep, mindful breath that you have come to know over the last few days. Inhaling up through the very base of your pelvis. Drawing that breath up, and as you're ready, pressing that breath back down, exhaling, and at the same time it releases at the crown of the head. Finding this dual movement in your breath, this nourishment in your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Turning the palms now to face the ceiling, continuing to sit tall as you know how. Mindful in this simple seated pose. And as you inhale and exhale, set the sound of the ocean to your breath. Riding that wave of your breath, the wave of the ocean breath as it comes in the body and out of the body. The sensation of floating on this wave as you ride the breath. Beginning to sway side to side, moving naturally with the breath. Inviting yourself to move, maybe to move differently than you normally do in a regular day. Listening to your body's call to move. Perhaps this movement as you follow the breath, as you ride the wave of the breath, turns into spirals. Spiraling the shoulders, the ribs, the elbows. Moving in the opposite direction or moving differently than you were before. Still in this seated position, so you're rooted into your practice, but you're finding the freedom in your body as you ride the wave of the breath to move. Without rules, without expectation. Allowing the body to move to feel. And now coming back into stillness, coming back into the stillness of the simple seated pose that we know so well. And palms together at your heart. Setting the shoulders down the back, opening the heart. Pressing the thumbs into the heart center. Returning to your natural rhythm of breath as you set your intention for this practice today. Opening your eyes, allowing the light to come in. And now untie the legs and shake the legs out for a moment. We've been practicing sitting for about 5 minutes each time we come together during this challenge. And so shake the legs out, soft in the muscles on the bone. And now take the left leg in and cradle the right leg so the pinky edge of that right foot settles into the crease of the arm of the elbow. And gently rocking. Some of you will bring that leg super close in towards your body, feeling the stretch in the hamstring, the IT band. And others will prefer to be out here. Experiment with your movement. You can close the eyes or keep the eyes open here. And go ahead, release this leg and cradle the left leg. Bring it in close. Remember to continue to sit tall. Be mindful with the foot, with the spine. If you want to take the leg out a little bit further. And we call this rocking the baby. Rock the baby a little bit here. Release that leg. Soles of the feet come together in cobbler pose. Interlace the fingers beneath the pinky edges of the feet and drop the knees down towards the floor as you open up the chest, up towards the front of your mat, perhaps the side of your mat like I'm sitting now. And now tuck the chin, round the shoulders toward one another and completely fold down in, pressing the back body back away from you. And now inhale the heart up and the shoulders back and down. Release that interlace. Extend, open up the legs out into wide leg. Whichever phase of wide leg works for you. Toes need to be pointing up towards the sky. So if you begin to fold and you notice the feet come in or out, shorten the stance of your wide-legged. So come into your wide-legged and begin to walk forward. As you walk forward, look at those toes, make sure they're pointed up towards the sky and slightly back towards the shins. Now, this is the fold that works for me today. Perhaps your fold will be here, taking the chest down towards the floor. Arms can extend. So play with this. Let this be natural to you, organic to you. So listen to your body. Toes pointing up. Activate the legs. And now walk both hands over to the left. Sink the chest towards the left thigh. Fingertips may be on the floor, elbows may be on the floor, somewhere in between. And draw the navel back towards the spine. Walk the hands through center and fold over the opposite leg. Really feeling the legs today. Take a look back at that opposite foot. Make sure the toes are still pointing up towards the sky. And we come forward again. Last forward fold here in wide-legged. And walk the hands back. So we'll come into stick pose now. So make sure the soft parts of the sit bones are rooted down into the mat nicely. And now lift the fingertips up towards the sky and fold over the legs. In this case, completely surrender. Let the back round. Let the forehead drop down towards the knees, towards the shins. And now again, for some of you, the forefold will be a little further up. Hands to the shins is nice. You can bring your hands back behind your calf muscles if you like. This is your practice, so experiment. And everybody reaches fingertips up towards the sky. Release the arms down by your sides. Coming into table pose. Another posture that we have gotten to know very well over this 21-day, well, over the last 5 days. So tuck the chin, lift the spine, cat pose. We know this one super well. And now rock back and forth in cat pose. Reaching the spine up towards the ceiling. Good. Come back to table pose. So crown of the head moving towards the front of the mat, palms of the hands pressing down into the mat. Tuck the toes, extend the legs. So now we come automatically, immediately into plank pose. And drop both heels over to the left and both heels over to the right. And back to center. Round the back a lot. So come on to the tips of the toes. So you feel yourself in this almost this pike position, this mini pike position. And now root the heels down towards the floor. Downward facing dog as you sink the heart back towards the thighs. Down dog. Left foot extends back behind you. Bring the left foot forward. Outer edge of the back foot hits the mat. Lengthen through the front knee. So fold over that front leg. And breathe. Soften that front knee a little bit. Take the left hand to the big toe side of the left foot and lift the right fingertips up towards the sky for triangle pose. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Find this left eye, especially up towards the sky, stacking the hips, the ribs, the chest. Hands come back down to the floor. Pyramid pose as you sink down. The hips begin to square with the mat. So you'll pivot the back foot and fold. Soften the front knee, step the back foot as many steps as it takes, and pop the back foot off of the floor. Look towards the back of the mat. Standing splits. And place that foot back down ever so slowly. High lunge, we found it again. Sink into your high lunge. The pelvis moves down towards the floor, the navel back towards the spine. And press back. Plank pose, and we'll do a chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Come to the tips of the toes. Bring that right foot forward any way that works for your body. You are in high lunge here. Lengthen through the front knee. Fold over that front leg, pyramid pose. Come up and out of your pyramid pose. Right hand now to the big toe side of your right foot. Soften the front knee as you open and then lengthen the front knee again. Left fingertips reach up for the sky. Right eye looks up towards the ceiling. Stacking here in triangle pose, Trikonasana. You can create some space here as well. Coming up and off of that lower hand for triangle pose. Again, be willing to experiment. Be willing to find that sweet spot for you in the posture. And now, square yourself off. Pivot the back foot. Square the hips with the mat. And fold over the front leg, straight leg. Could be a little soft here. Again, experiment. Sink into it. And now soften the front knee. Again, as many steps as it takes. Pop that back leg off of the floor and gaze back towards the back of your mat. Standing splits. Slowly, mindfully, drop that foot back down onto the floor. You're in high lunge again. Power up that back leg. Oftentimes I see this in my classes. Extend that back leg. Feel that deep, strong line of energy coming out from the glutes and down out the heel. Actually, it begins at the crown of the head and dives down the back, down the spine, out the heel. Awesome. And step back, plank pose. And chaturanga, upward facing dog. Drop the knees wide, child's pose. Tuck the chin and roll up. We're going to come into one final posture before we make our way to Shavasana today. So come to the very top of your mat, any way that it is for you to arrive at the front of your mat. And take Malasana, so you're in this squat pose, pressing the elbows away, pressing the elbows into the knees, away from the body. So the feet are away from one another as you sink down into your posture. So do this at the beginning or at the front of your mat. Long, strong spine. So we're going to have a little bit of fun here. You're going to drop the butt back and kick the feet back behind you into plow pose, just like when you were a little kid. So drop the butt and press the heels back, the toes back towards the back of your mat. So you're in plow pose now. If you wish, if it's possible for you today, take those toes up off of the floor and hover here. You can keep your hands back towards your butt, or you can take the feet, the hands to the feet, and find this jackknife position here. Again, finding the stretching, the lengthening of the legs. Hovering, toes come back down to the floor, hands back to your back body. We're going to roll back into that squat pose. So again, we're having some fun here. If it takes you a couple of times to get up there, that's fine. As you're ready, soften the knees and roll forward into Malasana squat pose. Shimmy side to side. Awesome. Bring the butt back down to the floor. Make your way to a reclined position, preparing for Shavasana. First, we're going to take a twist. So adjust yourself, get yourself situated, melt down into the mat a little bit, wiggle your way here. Have some playfulness, some joy in your practice today. Awesome. And we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. So thighs pressing together here. Open the arms into T position and drop both knees to the left. Gaze over towards the right, completing the twist. Be active. Your legs, these big muscle groups, super strong. Press the knees down towards the floor as you twist here today. Untie, twist in the opposite direction. Left leg on top now. Inner thighs pressing together. Super active. Drop both knees to the right. Gaze over towards the left. And untwisting. We'll come into Shavasana now. So make space. Move the soft parts of the sit bones away. Expand the legs. Drop the toes down towards the sides. The arms down. And soften. Soften into the beauty of this moment. Into the fact that you are practicing yoga. That you are committing yourself to your practice. Shifting into the quiet of Shavasana. wiggling the fingers and the toes. Bring the soles of the feet to your mat. Keep the eyes closed. Roll to your right side and roll up into a little tiny ball. And now re-emerge into the light, into this moment as you come up and out, opening the eyes. Taking this moment to just say thank you. Thank you for this practice. And thank yourself for arriving, for being here, for being willing to explore on your yoga mat today. Thank you so much. I see the light in you as you see the light in me. We are the same. Namaste.